Blah, blah. Somebody's playing the theme tune to the Golden Girls. They've got it attached as an object. Mute the stream, Vic, you fool. No, that's better. Oh, no, they're still playing it. I think it's Luna Twilight. Okay, that's better. Need to watch what I'm doing. Yeah, need to watch what I'm doing when I'm live streaming. Can't have any copyrighted music playing in the background. Oh, and they're playing it again. They must have it on repeat. Yeah, I need to... ambient muted, interface muted. Don't want to mute the master because then I won't hear a thing. Mute sounds, that gets rid of Luna Twilight spamming the Golden Girls theme song, which means I can unmute the desktop audio and I won't get copyright struck by YouTube. There we go. That's better. So how's everybody doing? Coverage of Meet the Lindens, which is basically episode 5, the last one. And this is Meet the Second Life Studios team, which is basically the new name for Linden Department of Public Works. In other words, the moles. That's who we're going to be meeting today. Let's take the screenshot off. And of course, let's have our usual... Why is it doing that? Let's have our usual gratuitous close-up. Gratuitous close-up of Fautor Fox, better known as Astravir. Still with that same cupcake. That cupcake must be going stale by now. Right. Have they got any copyright-free music? I'm going to turn you down just a little bit of background tunes. There we go. Cuteness overload. Absolutely, Fautor Fox. Absolutely. Oh yeah, you're right, this is a different one. See, I don't pay that much attention because to me cake is basically cake. It all looks cakey to me, but you're right, it's got a different top on it. Apparently Sarah says someone is now sitting on Larry. Yeah, someone's sitting on Larry. Ren's decided to sit on the hot dog. That is too funny. Yeah, Larry's squished. Larry is now an ex-hot dog. Larry's sitting there. Get off, Larry. Oh, that's too funny. Gotta love it when people just run into a crowded place and sit on a chair before they give a chance for everything to res. That's why people end up sitting on other people, because they don't give the viewer a chance to res everybody in. Yeah, I did nothing. At least he wasn't consumed. Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't. But that person is still sitting on Larry. Look, does Ren even know that she's sitting on a hot dog? That is hilarious. Right, okay. Blue name check. Most of them are probably going to be behind the stage, but we'll have a look around the outside first of all. Let's have a look at the expensive seats first. Martina Voxel. I know that name from somewhere. Why do I know that name? Martina Voxel, that rings a bell. I know her from somewhere. My mouse is showing. Get rid of the mouse, Vic. There we go. Martina Voxel. Where do I know that name? That's going to annoy me now. No blue names up on the expensive seats today. Is Cayenne Republic there? There she is. What the heck is that? What is that? I have no... Is that a kiwi? Is that a kiwi? think it's a Kiwi. But yeah, KN Republic was at my SL23B DJ set today. I was actually surprised to see her. But yeah, KN was there. I was doing a 1960s themed set over at the Funky Monkey stage. Good. I love what they've done with the Funky Monkey setup. That big huge cavern inside the mountain looks phenomenal inside. That was in there with the Charlie's Angels, Leah, Fenella and Lizzie. They were doing a little mini 1960s fashion show while I was DJing the 1960s music. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it is a Kiwi Fouter Fox, but I don't know. But yeah, there's KN Republic. And there's Errol Flynn. Errol's been sitting up there since the very first one. Since the very first one. That's usually KN Republic's chair, but she's not sitting there for some reason. No blue names up there. Any blue names down on the floor? They're probably all up on the stage. So we're not going to... Oh, wait a minute. There is one on the floor. Viola or Viola Mole. Somebody's got a car. How did they manage to bring that? Ah, it's probably attached. Yeah, it'll be attached to their avatar. That's why they managed to bring it in. Now, I spotted a blue name up here. There's a blue name. Katie. Katie Linden. One of the cute dinkies. Oh, look at that. Oh, little bunny as well. And, of course, if we spin the cat... Oh, hold on. There's another blue name I just spotted. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Katie's name. If we spin the camera around... Yeah, they're all up here. Wow. Look how many seats there are on the stage. Oh my god, 2, 4, 6, oh, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 seats on the stage. Are they honestly going to have to hold, are they honestly going to try and hold an interview with 20 people? I'm guessing half of them aren't going to be talking. 20 people on the stage though. Anybody backstage? Let's have a quick look. Nobody. They're all out on stage then. So who have we got so far? We have got Jester Mole. We have got Moonstruck Mole. We have got Grumpy Mole. We have got Star Mole. Caramole, a play on the words of caramel. A lot of Mole. We have also got more dinkies. We have got Missy. Mischievous Mole. We have got Abner Mole. We have got It's a Mole. And there's still a bunch to show up. That's going to be a very busy stage. A very busy stage. Right, let's spin the camera around. And we'll have a look at me. Wearing an outfit that I just got yesterday. Just bought this outfit yesterday and I thought, you know what? I can do with a new outfit. So I thought I'd treat myself. This is the 5th new outfit I have bought in the past year. Which is why I keep wearing the same clothes over and over again, people. Because I hate shopping. Shopping is evil. It's evil. Having to run around and look at vendors and stuff. Nope. Try and avoid shopping as much as I possibly can. Where's Sarah? There's Sarah there. On the front seat. You've got the cute fox, as always. With a cupcake. There we go. Just leave it on the cute fox for a little while. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my DJ set over at the Funky Monkey. It wasn't really all that busy because it was on at 10 o'clock in the morning Second Life time, which is 6 in the evening UK time. So it's not quite peak UK and it's way off peak US. But I think a good 20 people showed up, which I was kind of surprised at because it was a 1960 set. I was expecting maybe 10. But 20 people showed up. I was kind of surprised. Very fun set, even though it was only an hour long. Dramatically noms the cupcake. They have got some serious... Is that metal? They've got some serious metal music running in the background right now. 20 minutes to go, people. If you don't have your cup of tea yet, your cup of coffee ready, go and make it now. Can't believe this is going to be the last of the Meet the Lindens that I'm going to be covering this year. And I think this is the first year I've actually managed to cover all of them, because SL20, I missed one. SL21, I missed two. Didn't do any in SL22 because I wasn't here, I was in hospital, just getting checkups and stuff done. And yeah, I've actually managed to get all of them covered this year, because I've got a new internet company as well. That I was on Virgin Media, and anybody in the UK is going, oh my god, seriously, Vic, Virgin Media? You actually went with it. It was the only decent package in town at the time. But now I'm on U-Fibre. 1 gigabyte down, 1 gigabyte up. So it's asymmetrical, completely symmetrical connection. Phenomenal internet I've got now. Which means I don't have any internet problems. That's what was holding me back for SL20 and SL21B. The internet kept going up and down. Oh, there's Henry Beauchamp. Henry Beauchamp. The man behind the Cool VL viewer. Don't know if you've used the Cool VL viewer. A very, very handy viewer, especially if you're on an older laptop or an older desktop PC. Cool VL and the other one. What was the other one? Leandra from the Angels was telling me about it. Genesis, that's it, the Genesis viewer. Two wonderful viewers if you're on a low-powered PC or laptop. I've actually used the Cool VL viewer a couple of times for the old laptop that I've got when I was doing business trips and stuff. Good viewer, the Cool VL viewer. Really good viewer. Any other blue names have popped up down here? Nah, they're all going to be up on stage. I wonder why Viola Mole's down here and not up on stage as well. Let's spin the camera around. Anybody new showed up? Nope. What the heck is that? Oh, it's a T-Rex. That's what that is. T-Rex. Not fully rezzed in, but it's there. Yeah, go grab a drink. Go grab a drink, Fouter. I have got a sneaky suspicion that this one's going to run over, considering they've got 20 people on stage. It's going to run over. It's not going to be an hour long. You're probably going to be looking at an hour and a half. Orange Planer. Yep, it's Orange Planer. But yeah, that's a Velociraptor avatar. I've got the old Nargus Velociraptor. It was all done in Sculpties long before Mesh came out. That was a good Raptor avatar, that one, but it takes forever to load now, because the loading, like there's a loading, what's the word I'm looking for? A loading order when it comes to the viewer, what they pull in first. And it used to be the case that when Sculpties was all the rage, it was textures first, then Sculpties, then the objects. And what I've been noticing, especially over the past year, Sculpties seem to be the last thing to load. That's why I don't wear the Nargus avatars anymore, because they're all made of Sculpties and they take forever to load. So, yeah, bit of a shame, really. I know that there's some really good mesh-based, well, there's one there actually, Orange Planar's using one, but there's some really good mesh-based dinosaur avatars. I might go for a little shopping trip after SL23B's over. It's a very eclectic background music mix they're playing, this one. Any names that I'm recognising? There's Sarah, but we've seen Sarah already. Henry Beauchamp. Jelly Doll, is that a name that I'm recognising from the SL forums? Might be. Bixel! Let's have a little close in on Bixel Shufton. Bixel, of course, with his head missing. Okay, that looks freaky. Just a pair of eyes. Bixel Shufton, of course, from the SL Inquirer. Oh, there they go. They're back to the 1920s music. Oh no, Zara's. Oh, hold on. Somebody else is sat on him. So the original person that sat on Larry probably realised they're sitting on somebody else. Now there's somebody else sitting on Larry. This is hilarious. But Larry's going to be sitting there going, what did I do to deserve this? And the way that looks, yeah, I'm not going to say what that looks like, folks. In fact, I'm going to pull the camera away right now before anyone gets... Oh my God. It's amazing the amount of people that run into a place and don't let all the avatars load first before they decide to sit somewhere. That was too funny though. Oh, there we go. Larry's got the seat to himself. There we go. Notice it's all the girls sitting on the hot. Local chat cracks me up a lot. It really does. Poor Larry. Poor Larry. It's the first time I've actually seen Larry sitting on a chair. Because he's usually kind of sitting on the floor or standing. Because he's usually a little panda. And the first time he decides to sit in a chair, everybody sits on him. Absolutely hilarious. How you doing, Tabitha? Right. Let's have a look at the stage, see if anyone new has popped in. Anyone new? Oh, there's somebody new. Who's this? Garden Mole. Okay. They must do landscaping and stuff. Very interesting avatar Garden Mole's using. Anybody else new? I think that's it. Oh, no, we've got a new one here. Who's this? Dynamo. I like the nameplay. Although Dynamo doesn't seem to be loading. Larry was spewing catsup and mustard all over the Golden Palms dance floor earlier. Had to call a porter to clean. I love Larry. Any of these big events, like Christmas Expo, SL, any of the SLBs, at the big events, you always see Larry hanging around, either dancing with the DJs or at these meetings. You always see Larry at these events. Love Larry. Oh, there's another one. You've got Derek. That's a Linden. Yeah, you've got Derek Linden. We've got a Linden here. Who's that? Brett's just walking in now. Yeah, they're all piling in now. 10 minutes to go, people. If you don't have a cold drink, if you're currently cooking in the UK with the hot weather, if you don't have a cold drink or a cup of tea, now's the time to make one. Anybody else new? I think that's it so far. Well, no, we've got Izzy. We've got Izzy with the Stoned Kitten. Let's have a close-up of the Stoned Kitten, shall we? As we wait and textures loading. You can't tell me that that kitten is not on something, either too much catnip or it got into the special drawer that Izzy's not telling anyone about. Yeah. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, we're filling up now. Who's not appeared yet? We've still got 2 chairs empty in the back row. Mossy Mole, Dynamole, Jester Mole, Moonstruck Mole, Grumpy Mole, Star Mole, Caramole, Garden Mole, Izzy Linden, Alotta Mole, Brigantia Mole, is that how you say that? I think it is. Brett Linden, Mischievous Mole, Abner Mole, Itza Mole, and Derek Linden at the far side, and we've got 2 chairs empty at the back. Yeah, the Stone Cat. Stone Cat. You're right, Jezebel. It is very mole-tastic on the stage. I don't think they're going to be interviewing everyone on the stage, because there's no way they could fit that in an hour. And it's been timetabled for an hour as well, so there's probably going to be a select few of them that are going to be speaking on behalf of the rest of the moles that I'm guessing. I highly doubt there's any new blue names on the main floor, because they're all going to be up on stage. You've got Viola Mole, who's still down there. Yeah, that's it, just Viola Mole. I am surprised Wendy's not here. Let's have another close-up of KN Republic. Oh, the Kiwi's gone. KN has popped in. And I've noticed that about KN. Brand new avatar, or at least not the same avatar, for every single one of these SL23B Meet the Lindens. She's never had the same avatar twice. Never. But yeah, another close-up of KN. Who else do I recognise? Yeah, that's that really. Nobody's name nobody's name is standing out here. Are those 2 seats been taken yet? Nope, they're still empty. Knight Rider's up at the balcony. Where are you on the balcony, Knight Rider? Alexander Tread. Oh, there you are, there. So there's Knight Rider in chat. And let's click on the heart. There we go. There's that name, Martina Vauxhall. I know that name from somewhere and I'm trying to figure out where. It's going to annoy me. In fact, you know what? I'm going to check the profile and look at the groups. TARDIS owners, that's where I know her name from. That's where I know her name from. She uses the Hands of Omega TARDISes. Yeah, I've seen her. I've seen her in the TARDIS owners group chat. Because Doctor Who fan, obviously. That's where I've seen her name before. I knew her from somewhere. Arabella Windsor. I recognise that name. The Scotland Sims. I think Arabella Windsor. I'm sure she's one of the people from the Highland Scotland regions. Arabella Windsor. Yeah, I think she is. Those 2 chairs still haven't been... Oh, wait a minute. One of them has. Who is it? Quartz Mole. So we've got 1 missing. We've got 1 mole missing. Or maybe a Linden for that matter. You know what? This is going to be tricky to get everyone in the same shot. I'm going to have to do this front on, because if I do it at an angle, that means everyone in the far seats are way out. So I'm going to have to do it like this, I'm guessing. Bring it in a little bit more and get Izzy and Derek, not Dragon, well, he is a dragon, but he's not called Dragon. Izzy and Derek right at the edge. That should do it. Right there. That's a lot of people on stage. 5 minutes to go, people. If you don't have your drink yet, you're almost too late. In fact, while we're waiting, I'm going to do this. What one's the SLB group? That's performers. You know what? I'm going to close some of these. That's the one. Somebody put in a live stream, no commentary. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of criticisms. Why do you always talk over people? It's called a commentary channel. It's called commentary. Giving my opinion on what's being said. Well, I mean, you've got to, because I mean, it's like for instance, the one that was on yesterday, the Meet the Moles yesterday, the marketing team, they didn't have a clue what they were talking. They didn't have a clue. They really didn't. And the trouble with Sarah, I look Vic stream, but no see Vic. What do you mean you don't see me? I'm right there. Hold on. Turn the camera around. I am right behind you, Larry. Right behind you, right there, next to the big hammer. There I am, right there. See it with the bunny on my shoulder. Little thumper. See, there's somebody else sitting on a chair with somebody already on it. Kenny Lex is currently sitting on that poor avatar's head. Anybody sitting on Larry? Nope, Larry's fine and clear so far. Okay, no, nobody's... See, that empty chair is going to annoy me if nobody fills it. I'm sorry, it's going to annoy me to such an extent that if I was drunk, I'd probably go and sit in that chair. But I'm not drunk, so I'm not going to. Right, let's get the camera set up. 2 minutes to go, people. 2 minutes to go. Right, there we go. Perfect. Oh, it's missed packets. Right. Okay, let's get that muted and then turn this up. Right, I know the levels now. Right there, that'll do it. Oh, that's right, Sarah. Ancient Mole. Where's Ancient? Maybe that's who the empty seat's for. Ancient's late. Yeah, because Ancient does a lot of work. A lot of work in the background. Very surprised Ancient Mole's not up there. I stuffed ancient into my inventory. Ah! Oh, they're starting. I think.
Hello, everybody,
There
and
we are.
welcome to the last of the 5 Meet the Linden Q&A events. We've already held sessions this week with SL founder Philip Rosedale and members of the product, engineering, marketing, and growth teams. If you've missed any of these sessions, you can see recordings on our official YouTube channel at youtube.com/secondlife. And today's session will also be shared shortly after today's event is completed. Before we get started, here's a quick reminder to everyone about our ongoing SL23B Golden Ticket Giveaway, where you can win up to 1 million Linden dollars. To enter, just find one of the 5 kiosks and click it to be entered. You can enter up to 5 times every day for a chance to win that 1 million Linden dollar top prize. As I said, there are 5 kiosks in total scattered around the estate, and kiosk number 5 does tend to wander around a bit. So for our stationery, one likes to roam. All right, let's get to today's Q&A. Today we have a full house with both Lindens and Moles, who collectively contribute to Second Life Studios. What is Second Life Studios? Well, we're about to find out. On stage, you'll see a few familiar faces from Linden Lab, including Izzy, Derek, and Brett, but also several of the creator contractors, more commonly known as moles, who work on a number of projects across Second Life. I am going to let everybody have a chance to just say their name and briefly the area that they work on. Everybody in the front row is going to be talking. Everybody in the back row is just going to wave at you and smile. All right. I am not currently looking at the screen, so let's see. We'll start with Derek. Who are you, Derek?
Oh, I get to go first. Thank you. Hi, I'm Derek Linden. I am the Senior Manager of Product Operations. Basically, I primarily work with land as a product inside of Second Life, including our wonderful land operations team and skill gaming.
Thank you. Itza.
Hello, everybody. I'm Itza, and I'm part of the decoration team at the Linden Homes. I basically help with the whole team, try to make it pretty for you guys, and I do also covenant enforcement.
You. Abner.
I am Abner Mole. I've been with the LDPW Moles Studio SL Studios for 18 years now. So yeah, it's been a while, and I do all kinds of stuff. I did too many to list right now in this brief amount of time. But yep,
He does all the things. And his res day was yesterday. So
all the things. Yeah.
happy 18th res day. Brett,
Why,
I know
thank
we
you.
know you. You've been here. You've been here every day, but you can say hello.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I work with marketing, community, creator partnerships, and now Second Life Studios.
Thank you. Bree.
Hi, everybody. I am Brigantia Mole, but most people just call me Bree because Brigantia is far too many letters. Why I ever chose that, that's a whole nother story. But I am celebrating my 3rd year as a mole here at Birthday, and I'm happy to be here. I get very involved in creating things and helping sort of coordinate and schedule things that we create with this team.
Thank you. Alada.
Hello, I'm Alada. I do quality assurance for the studio side and also take some pictures.
And last but not least, Izzy.
Thank you, Missy. Hi, I'm Izzy Linden, creative producer for Second Life Studios. I've been with the lab over 19 years now, and I have the wonderful luck to get to work with all of these amazing creators and also other resident creators on different projects that we get to do.
All right, so we have a big group of people here today, a lot of people who want to talk and answer the questions that the community put out there for us. The first question that we're going to start with is the one that I already prompted. What is Second Life Studios? And I believe Izzy has something to say on this, and Brett has something to say as well. So we'll start with Izzy.
Sure. Thank you again, Missy. So Second Life Studios has actually been around for a while, but it's been in the background. It's not really something that we've advertised before. It's kind of the heart of collaboration between the Linden Lab and our residents, whether that was us working with our contractors to create infrastructure or collaborating with existing resident creators to build a new and exciting opportunity within Second Life. Second Life Studios is basically kind of the bridge that handles that.
All right, Brett, would you like to explain a little more?
Yeah, I'll go a little more detail, but just because for the context of this actually is, Izzy said, has been around for a while. We just haven't really presented it publicly this way for a while. But even with Patch, we've had studios around for a couple of years. It really started with the need to have better coordination with growth and marketing, which is where we bring people into Second Life. And then what happens when you arrive in World, which is the part that the studios teams, as part of their many, many things they do, plays a role in. One just can't be successful without the other. So there's definite room for improvement on what happens when a true new user comes in, but also what happens once they arrive inside the world. And so from an org structure perspective inside Linden Lab, we now have marketing and studios really kind of combined in a closer unit so that we can work better together, because you just can't have one without the other, bringing somebody in versus what happens once they arrive. And so there's lots of room for improvement there, and I think that's what we're going to start to see. Some more context about studios and why it's important. Yesterday we had our marketing meeting, and a relatively newly hired Fausto, who's our growth lead, was here, and he was talking a lot about what we do with acquisition on the marketing side. All the channels that we do, we spend a lot of money. We've tried to experiment with spending a lot of money, and then there's been times it's been on and off. So some months we spend money, sometimes we don't. Most of that budget's been on video, like YouTube, for example. In the future, we'll look at Reddit and TikTok and others. We're also starting to do partnerships. We have things like with influencers, podcasters, things of that nature that you're going to start to see roll out. These decisions are being made now in closely coordination with our new strategic insights team. It's another change that's happened inside Linden Lab, is we have data scientists that have joined us that are really amazing in terms of their pedigree and understanding like how to get the results that we're looking for. So there's just this sort of adjustment that's been made inside the company to sort of have us be a little bit maybe smarter about what we do and how we do it. All of that is meant to say, leading back to the question of what is Second Life Studios, is that no amount of ad dollars spent are going to make sense or be effective if that first user experience just doesn't work to retain users. And I've been here long enough to have seen when things work really well and when they don't. So we've had a great experience coming off of the user experience working group, which had external creators and our own Second Life Studios team, which I'm surrounded by, working together. And this learning center, folks here have not seen the learning center created by my colleagues here in studios, the moles. it actually performed the strongest in that partnership. So it was really quite impressive to see that come together. And there was a lot of information sharing during that process where people could learn from what was working and not working in faster iterations so we can make adjustments. So there's just a lot of advantages now to this structure that's falling into place with Second Life Studios. For the future, you're just going to see better synergy with marketing and acquisition efforts, including things that we work on together in partnership with creators in some cases. I literally just got out of a meeting this morning on something we've not announced publicly yet, but you know that we have Lua scripting in Second Life. And so there's a showcase experience for Lua that will be available to everybody very, very soon. That's an example where a partnership comes into play. I gave the example of where our learning center created by our internal studios team really rose to the top and shined. So there's a lot of great stuff in the works from Second Life Studios. We want to continue that legacy of working with all types of creators, our molds, external partners, etc., to bring Second Life and make it better, especially for newcomers during that precious first minute or so of what people are they're forming their opinions of whether this is for them or not. And we just need to do better there. And so I think you'll start to see that. And then lastly, I just want to emphasize that it's not just these sort of new user initiatives. Everyone you're seeing on this stage has played a key role in things like land operations, which Derek is key on now, and trust and safety. Kira, who's not here with us, plays a key role with that. And so those projects continue, Linden Homes, land maintenance, community events, etc. They're all important. So that's just the context for what Second Life Studios is and why it maybe is a little bit different than what people have thought of in the past.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation, Brett. It helps a lot to define how the moles are working more closely now with marketing and growth, and really appreciate that clarification. Before I move on to more questions that have come in from the community, I do want to give people here in the audience a chance to ask questions as well. So if you have questions today, you can direct them to Star Mole. She is sitting here on the stage. She is in the second row behind me and to my right. So find her, click on her, and send her a message, and she will make sure that we get any additional questions that you might have today, and we'll answer them as we have time. All right. The first question that I have is, what projects are you working on right now? And is there anything that you work on that residents would be surprised to learn about? I am also a mole, so I'm going to answer this for the moles right now, because what everybody has been working on up until about June 18th or June 19th was SL23B. I got to commandeer everybody from every other department and we focused on this one thing. But of course, SL23B is winding down. We have our last weekend to go. So other projects are getting up and running. So I'm going to let Bree answer this because I know that there is something specific that she is coordinating that everybody will be very interested in.
Sure. Thank you, Missy. At the moment, a number of our creators, including myself, are working on some of the premium gifts that will be presented in August to our Premium and Premium Plus members. We're very excited about this pack. This pack will have a bit of an outdoor adventure theme. So all sorts of items and things that you'll get to engage with that will support outdoor activities. And we're having a blast creating it. And we hope that those of you who will get to enjoy it will also have a blast with it. So that's what I'm currently spending most of my time focusing on right now.
Excellent. I can't wait to see what those premium gifts are. I've heard some rumblings and they sound like they're going to be great. All right, next question. What's one detail you've added to a region or a home that most residents probably haven't noticed, but you're especially proud of? This one I'm going to ask Itza because she works directly on deco for Linden Homes. And I know that they have a very specific set of directions on how they decorate. But even within that, they have a lot of creativity. So it's a real meshing of direction and creativity. So it's a what have you done in your memory, something that really kind of stands out with the decorating that you've done in Linden Homes?
Well, I don't think I've done anything like special. The thing is, every theme that we do, every region that we've done, I'm incredibly proud of it. Not specifically for myself, but because of us as a team, because we work together. We it's very difficult for me to say exactly. If someone stops working and I work different hours than the rest of the deco team, then I basically pick up where they left, and so at the end, then everything comes really nicely together.
Well, one thing that I need to point out is that the deco team came in and helped decorate the stages up after they were built. They came and landscaped around them and did a really excellent job with pretty minimal direction. I said for the Funky Monkey stage, it's a jungle. Yeah, go wild with it. We have these long stretches of beaches that are supposed to be representative of beaches in California, Southern California. And so I said, just what do you see on beaches in Malibu? And so I think that they had fun with that. The creativity that they were able to bring to it. And I hope that everybody has had a chance to get out and really explore around the stages because they've done a really nice job.
That's the thing. It's we just come together as a team, and it's not something that one of us does on its own. It's always a teamwork.
Definitely. All right. We are going to take a brief pause here because it seems like there is a bit of a technical difficulty. So everybody hold your breath for 30 seconds. All right. Exhale. All right. Everybody can exhale now. Good job, everybody. We were going for a Guinness record. I think the record now is like 7 minutes. Didn't somebody do that for the new Avatar movie? I can't imagine holding my breath for 7 minutes. All right, next question. When you begin designing a new region, do you start with a story, a visual idea, or something else entirely? Abner, do you want to weigh in on this one?
Sure. As far as like, the first thing I think we look at is, okay, what is the purpose of what we're doing? Because we have to make it functional. It's going to serve a purpose. Is this, a region that's supposed to be designed for like a new resident experience? Is this a Linden Homes region? Is this an SLB region? Um, and kind of work the framework of it so that it is functional first, and then we'll start talking about ideas for, how is it going to look? How is this going to, you know, first we deal with the function, and then we'll look at the form. And it's an entire process involved in that, just so that the form and the function all work together.
All right.
Does that answer the
I am.
question?
It does. It does
Okay.
answer the question. But I'm going to follow up with another question directed to you because I know that you have something to say about this.
Okay.
Which resident created build, region, or community has inspired? Well, the question is your work the most. I'm not going, I don't want to focus on the most. What communities or builds out there have inspired you? And I know that there was one in particular that inspired something at the birthday.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at, and that's exactly the one I was going to mention. The question is basically what have I seen out there that has really kind of wowed me? And one that I always go back to is, and full disclosure, I do not know the person who created this. I've never talked to them. I don't know anything other than what I've seen of their work, and that is a place in Second Life called Mother Road, which is it's only 3 regions, and it's designed to look like you know a small little way station town in the middle of the desert in like Nevada or something. But the way that it was done is just it impressed me. I was like, you know, only working with 3 regions and everything, and the way that it was, the way that he did it, or she, I don't know, the way that they did it, and just to get the effect of being in the middle of a vast desert that just goes on forever, and it's quite impressive to me. And so I mean, I kind of have to give a tip of my hat to that. If that's what I was going for, that's what I would do. And I kind of looked at that a little bit to try to get inspiration for our adult stage that we did here. I couldn't do it the same way. Um, I wish I could. It's just, the technical difficulties of trying to do something that is designed to be on 3 standalone regions, and trying to import that to something that's going to be next to other regions like the shop and hop, just it wouldn't work. But I looked at things like that for like inspiration, and just looking at it going, okay, how did they do this, and what can I take from that to kind of inspire, my technique, or how I'm trying to solve a similar problem.
I would like to weigh in on this question as well. There are a couple of events that really inspire me. Second Life Birthday is one of them. I am just amazed at the exhibits that people bring every year. Some of them are very simple. Some of them are incredibly elaborate. There are ones that are artistic. There are ones that are more educational, but the just overall creativity and thought and enthusiasm that goes into the design of all the exhibits is really very inspiring to me. The other event that um, that I that really inspires me and is the fantasy fair. I think that that has an incredible community, and likewise some absolutely stunning regions accumulated every year. It's a real adventure to explore that. Izzy, I know that you wanted to say something.
Who, me? Well, with almost 20 years of experience as a Linden, I've definitely seen a tremendous amount of variety in Second Life. I've seen amazing builds, feats of creativity, wonderful recreations. It's probably nearly impossible to pick any single build if I had to. Whenever I need a reset or a breather, I'll go around like the exhibits in SLB or the art exhibits in SLEA, or just driving around the mainland to see all the wondrous things that are built, and it kind of revitalizes and re-inspires me. Um, it's probably impossible to pick a specific one, but I'm going to break with convention and pick two. First, on attention to detail, I once came across a recreation of a Wendy's restaurant on the mainland, and it was so intense with the level of detail down to the fry machine and the soda fountain and everything. It was really, really inspiring. It was just a Wendy's restaurant, but it had so much fine detail. I really, really enjoyed it. On the completely other end of the spectrum, I was brought to an educational region where a student who was building within Second Life had created their rendition of the Aurora Borealis so that people could experience the majesty and awe of this phenomenon for people that otherwise wouldn't get to experience it in their first lives. And I just thought that that was an amazing thing to do. So those would be my top two that come off the top of my head.
So basically, what you're saying is that you were inspired to eat hamburgers under the northern lights.
Absolutely perfect summation. Now I got to go book a trip.
Yes, for all of us, and Wendy's. Get us all hamburgers as well. If you could redesign one area of mainland from scratch, what would you choose and why? Alada, we haven't heard from you yet. Do you have a part of mainland that you would redesign?
Yeah, actually, I used to live in mainland for a while in my first years as a resident, and I used to live very close to the train station in mainland, and I would love to like redesign the whole thing because I think we could expand it into completely different dimensions now with it, like adapted to like how people do Second Life now. That it's not just with trains or the pod things only. So I think I will expand it so it will be like, for cars and other stuff, and rest your things and eat here like a fake eating station. I don't know, like I will add so
Maybe our
many things.
Wendy's restaurant could come and
Exactly. And we put a fake easy that is like eating burgers.
Only if I get the Northern Lights too.
Right.
I picked on Alada, but it's Abner, Bree, if any of you have a thought about mainland that you'd like to share.
I don't think that there's anything in particular that I would want to redo because mainland is mainland. It's part of me growing up in Second Life. It's yes, maybe some road work or little things, but I would not touch anything personally.
Well, I can
If
certainly understand that because it's what the residents have created. So how could we
I
possibly redesign that? Go ahead, Abner.
yeah, I was gonna. I hadn't really thought about this, but it just kind of came to me. If there was anything I could like go back in time and redo, it would be some of the regions on the mainland that were supposed to have roads go through them that for one reason or another never did. Or a lot of the areas on the edges of the continents that should have had a protected strip of land so people could go around it on their boats, and for whatever reason they never did. If there was one thing I could go back in time and kind of change, it would be to fix those things.
All right. Well, I'm making a list here, so when we all have nothing to do, maybe we'll go back to this list. Izzy, I think that you had something.
Absolutely. So for me, it's all about, especially since we're talking about the mainland, obviously it's resident front focus, but I also really love when we're collaborative with our residents. So I would kind of think up mini Bay City type oasis type things where we would just take small little areas that we build out a small portion of the new community there that residents can then go ahead and get, those parcels like in Bay City, but then allow the residents to expand from there. So we kind of plant a little seed and then let things go from there.
Well, and I know that Bay City, it's a very strong community, and it really has. It from the tiny seed, it has become a huge oak from the acorn, right?
Exactly.
Brett,
I'd love to see the more of that grow.
yes, that would be fun. Brett, did you have something that you wanted to share?
Maybe just something I hinted at, I think it was yesterday. We're working on something. It's not out yet, obviously. It's called the Community Priorities Program. And it's just the idea of giving a stronger voice to the community to basically say, hey, did you know about this? Or why don't you work on that? So in terms of us making decisions about allocating some time and resources to fixing things, it could be mainland improvements, preservation efforts, infrastructure projects, really anything. That's something that I'm really excited to see come to light so that it will give people a voice in helping us direct some of our direction on resources. So that's coming soon.
All right. What do you think makes a great Linden home community beyond just the homes themselves? I am going to direct this to Abner.
Uh, let's see. W- What makes, let's see, what makes, can you read it again?
Yes. What makes a great Linden home community beyond just the homes themselves? So, what makes the community part of it?
Oh, I think, well, I think, you said, beyond the houses themselves, and I think that that is what makes it is everything that is beyond the houses themselves. The fact that everything is in a contiguous sort of arrangement, where, the world is more than just your parcel or, the four square sides of your parcel lines. There is an outside to your house, and you're kind of encouraged to interact outside of your little stamp of where you live, uh, and that gets people talking, and that's what brings in the community. And we have a lot of people in Bellis area, in the Linden Homes area, where they are open to people coming and, waving as they drive by, or, hi, or even speak to their neighbors. And there's a whole community of people who are talking with each other and, uh, sharing design ideas. And hey, where can I find this? Oh, you have a really, I like how you did your garden. Where did you find those things? Can you give me a landmark? And and I think that that's what brings in the community is just people looking outside of their own little, uh, immediate view. And I
Mhm.
think that that's really what fosters that.
Yes, I agree. And I know that Izzy has a very similar feeling about this.
Well, I would, if one portion of the question wasn't there, I probably would reply just like Abner did. I am so proud of the Linden homes that we've created. They're just, I love the diversity. I love the creativity. I love seeing what I see pop up on the marketplace for how residents, modify things and stuff like that. It's just a really, really great start to the new user life and existing. I mean, there are plenty of really long-term residents that still utilize their Linden homes, which to me speaks to the value of them. But with the caveat of the question saying beyond just the homes themselves, I think there really is only one answer to the question, in my opinion, and that's residents. They're the heart of any community in Second Life. While we can build great buildings, provide a wonderful infrastructure, beautiful houses, it takes the residents to add life and turn it into a community. Now, that might be a really sappy answer, but I really and honestly feel that way.
Well, it's not sappy, it's true. So, if it is sappy, it's still true. I I think that that is absolutely the residents are the ones that breathe the life into the beautiful regions that are built by the LDPW SL Studios.
Here, here.
All right, Izzy, this one is again for you. How do you balance nostalgia and innovation when designing for a platform with more than 20 years of history?
Well, at least you give me the simple questions. This is always in the forefront of our minds. While we strive to innovate and bring new and interesting options to our residents of Second Life, we also want to honor our history and our traditions. So it's kind of a delicate balance to honor the past while building for the future. I believe that we accomplish this with, new innovations and themes like the Linden Homes themes, where we bring new and exciting homes to our users, but also balance that with a plethora of additional options like previous home builds, mainland build-up areas like Bay City, as well as the total freedom that is found from having a private island. So the opportunities brought on even more options, and that helps put our residents in control of their future, whether they want to do a ready to move in Linden home, mainland where they can go ahead and build with fairly freedom, but there's still certain controls, or a private island where the sky's the limit.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to a new topic now, Belisaria and mainland evolution. And most of these are going to be for you, Izzy, because they are about Linden Homes. First question is, many residents would like to see more premium plus homes available. Are there plans to expand housing inventory or create additional opportunities for premium plus members?
So we're always adding additional Premium Plus homes to the available join flow. We strive to always make at least some Premium Plus homes available, but of course we don't want to create a whole bunch of regions that just end up sitting there. So we have to be kind of conscious of the balance.
All right. So if you see that there is a big desire for a certain theme and there aren't any homes available, then you'd roll out a few more homes so that people would be able to get into that theme.
Exactly, and we usually rotate it around. So one day we might release some of this theme, and then once that peters out and we need more, we might go to a different theme just to kind of round robin it.
Okay. Many residents are curious about the long-awaited completion of the Mediterranean continent. Can you share any updates on those plans?
Well, that's kind of like what I was saying before. We expand existing areas based on use and need. So as an existing themes available homes are acquired, we then add more to maintain some availability. But we don't want to just finish an entire area that then has a whole bunch of partially empty regions, because that, of course, has a fiscal cost that would then have to be shared by everybody. So it's a give and take and balance that we have to kind of keep an eye on.
Okay. So the short answer to that is just keep waiting. It'll be there eventually.
There you go. And if you want one in a particular area, get your friends to take the ones that are currently existing so we have a reason to put out more. There.
There you go. Copperfield Heights has proven extremely popular. Are there plans for additional regions, and might we see more 2048 parcels offered in future releases?
Absolutely. We try to keep some Copperfield Heights available for our residents. It's the newest theme, but we also have our other existing Premium Plus themes. So, like I said before, we try to kind of rotate it a bit, but we will circle back, once we go through the other themes and make sure people that want them get a chance, we will add more Copperfield Heights too. And personally, it is one of the themes that I'm the most proud of because I just love the idea of having plus premium and premium plus parcels out there. So everybody's kind of in the community together.
All right. Now we're going to switch our focus to mainland. And Derek, I'm going to direct this to you first. What role does mainland play in the future of Second Life? And are there plans for broader improvements such as terrain, texture updates, infrastructure upgrades, road expansions, or other modernization efforts?
Just nuke mainland and start from scratch. That's what I would do.
Yeah. So if you've had a keen eye on mainland lately, you may have already noticed some things are starting to bloom. The transitioning happening in Gata 1, the expansion of Zendra, those aren't isolated projects. I hope that people are taking these as signals of a broader, renewed focus on mainland as a living and evolving part of Second Life. And honestly, there's more in the pipeline that we're not quite ready to talk about yet. But I think residents are going to be excited when we can. Um, the answer to the question directly is yes, mainland is absolutely something we're putting more intentional focus on going forward. That includes goals of terrain texture updates, environment settings, the general look and feel of the world. On the infrastructure side, of course, roads, waterways, that kind of thing. We're always looking for opportunities. Our approach there tends to be pretty deliberate. We take suggestions if they're submitted as feedback, or we look for areas where that infrastructure is genuinely lacking, where we have the available land to actually make and do something meaningful and target it. We're not going to build a road to nowhere, but where the real opportunity exists and the need is clear, we want to move on it. Basically, yes, the short version is the mainland has a future, and we're definitely investing in it.
Thank you. Brett, do you have anything to add?
Very quickly, just that yes, mainland's important, and as I mentioned earlier with the community priorities program in progress, that there's going to be more opportunities for people to actually weigh in where they want us to put our focus. So I'm really looking forward to see how people vote with their voice, and that's going to obviously in fact impact some of the mainland work as well.
Izzy?
I'm going to pretty much ditto what Derek said. I mean, mainland's a critical part of the tradition of Second Life. It's a place where residents are only limited by their creativity. And I don't see that going away anytime soon. Uh, I do think that there's a lot that we can do to assist in the process with additional infrastructure and such, like what Derek said. So I'm really excited for the future of the mainland.
Right. Derek, this question is for you again about mainland. Many mainland residents have neighboring parcels that have been abandoned for years by owners who haven't logged in for a decade or more. Can you explain how Linden Lab approaches these situations and whether there are any discussions about addressing long-term inactive land ownership?
Yeah, sure. So this is something that comes up from time to time, and I do think it's worth being clear about why this is actually a little more nuanced than it might appear at first glance. Uh, the thing is, these parcels aren't necessarily abandoned in the way that we might think of the word. In virtually all of these cases, these residents are still paying tier. Their accounts may be inactive and not logging in world, but their land fees are being paid and covered. That creates a real obligation on our end when someone steps away from Second Life, whether it's a month, 2 months, a year, or even a decade, they have a reasonable expectation that when they come back, their land is going to be exactly as they left it. Their build, their objects, their little corner of the mainland, that trust is something we take pretty seriously. So while I completely understand, some people may be frustrated with neighbors who, may be dealing with an eyesore or a neglected parcel next door, um, we have to be really thoughtful about how we balance that, maybe against the rights of someone who is still a paying customer for all intents and purposes. That said, I won't pretend that this is a solved problem and that's the end of this. However, I do think it deserves ongoing conversation. uh, we we want the mainland to feel vibrant and alive, and long-term vacancy does work against that. So yeah, it's something to to be aware of, that we're going to continue to consider, and continue to think about.
All right, thank you. Moving on to looking at Second Life Studios and what exactly is going on behind the scenes. For residents who may not realize how much work goes into these projects, can you walk us through how a typical Second Life Studios project comes together from concept to release? I really think that the best person to start answering this is probably Izzy because he's our project manager. So, Izzy, you want to kind of start this one off?
Sure, I'll try not to be too long-winded on this one. But basically, the first step when we get a new project is to build out the scope of the project. How long will it take? How many resources are needed? And once we have that kind of framework, we then create mood boards to build a collective consciousness of what's possible. We then use those boards to narrow down the focus to a cohesive concept. With that cohesive concept in hand, we start building a roadmap of the work to be done. What will our creators need to build? What infrastructure will be needed? What will it look like? Plants, trees, roads, etc. Then those builds go on to other areas like animation, scripting, quality control, while our decorators are building the lush flora and fauna of the builds, and our effects team are adding sounds and sights to enrich the environment. One thing I don't know if anybody knows, old Linden homes didn't have those immersive pieces that have, I think, really, really lifted the bar on Linden homes. So then this all comes together into the version of our project.
All right. Brett, do you have something you want to add to this as well?
Maybe just a spin on this that involves expanding what Second Life Studios does into the community at large. I'll remind people that we have our Creator Partnership Program, which is an open forum at any time. 700 plus people have pitched us to work with us, and they have the potential to work with all the fine folks on the stage here on the Second Life Studios team. So the reach of Second Life Studios is our creator contractors here, but it's also the community that wants to work with us. And we've already seen that with some of the partnerships, and more to come.
Thank you. When you're designing a new Linden home theme, region, gift, or community space, where does the inspiration usually come from? And I'm going to open this up to the moles. Bree, I know that you have worked on this, so I'm going to let you start with an answer to this question. Or, Izzy, do you want to jump in?
Sure, no problem at all. There's so many different places that we kind of draw off of for inspiration. For the most part, the community and our team. We sometimes put out polls to ask what the community is interested in, or we ask around our team for ideas. Then ultimately, we draw on the submissions to drive our inspiration to build areas that are interesting, innovative, and also serve a purpose within the community. I know one thing that's been brought up a few times in the past, I suggested this and you guys didn't do exactly what I suggested. And the reason for that is we take all the different suggestions, see what kind of is most interested by the most amount of people, and then also what can we pull from this submission and this idea, how might they gel together to basically do even more. And then also, of course, we have to look at the greater Second Life community and go, how do we make this as non-niche as possible, so therefore we get the most amount of people that get to benefit from that idea.
Okay. All right. This
And Miss
question is,
Missy,
I'm
I'm here.
sorry, Bree.
I can
Yeah.
chime in as well. I'm sorry, I was double muted, and so I apologize for that gap. The thing that I would add is that inspiration is one thing when it comes from me as an individual, but it is far more effective when it comes from our team, who not only bring their own ideas, but have also been listening to the input from others. And so in our most recent brainstorming effort, we started by brainstorming what do we want to see for the August gift package as an example. We had a brainstorming session. Everybody contributed their thoughts and ideas. They were um, at first, the ideas were trickling in fairly disparate areas, but pretty quickly we had one list that was 3 times as long as all of the others. And that kind of lets us know that there's consensus building around an idea, and then that builds on itself. And so for me, where does the inspiration come from? It comes from listening to residents, listening to my fellow moles, brainstorming together, and then collectively bringing our ideas together, because together they are so much more effective than if it was just me sitting there making stuff up.
All right. Yes, we really do work as a team and work very well and closely together as a team. So the next question I have is for all of the moles, at least all of the talking moles, what project are you personally most proud of and why? So let's start, Alada. Can you tell us a project that you have worked on that you're really proud of the way that it turned out?
It's a tricky question because to me the thing is like I have to touch every project in the end because you need QA for all the projects. but yeah, no, I think it is because sometimes we put maybe a little bit more of ourselves in it. Um, I think, for example, and it's not because we're on SLB, but I do think in SLB probably we spend more time and should like not just do what you usually do. Like I didn't do just QA, for example, for SLB. So it ends up becoming more personal, and each year we do like something different, and we put really all of our like excitement and ideas, and we want people to be happy. And also the fact that you can see people enjoying the event makes it more exciting and more personal, and so you enjoy it 10 times more. But yeah, no, it's difficult. I have to participate in all the things. So
Yeah, it's really hard to pick just one. But I think that you're right. There's something special about working on SLB, and I think that you're right in that everything that we do, we hope residents enjoy, but SLB, we immediately see whether we have been successful in what we've created or not, and that's very exciting. Itza, is there a project that you have worked on? I know that you do a lot of decoration for Linden Homes. Is there a theme that you particularly loved?
I love all the themes, but I think that I'm gonna join Alota with SLB. That's just. But I think that I'm gonna join Alota with SLB. That's just working with. But I think that I'm gonna join Alota with SLB. That's just working with the residents even next year.
I don't know what we're going to do next year.
But yeah, no, everything this year, SLB, I think that's really, really high on my list, this SLB.
Abner, do you have a project that you are really proud of having been part of?
Well, I think people are probably going to assume that I'm going to say Linden Homes, which is it is true. I mean it's something we started in like 2019, and it really encapsulates a lot of everything that we learned coming up to that point, and you can see how from the first homes and the original regions how it evolved and got much better as we went on as well. But I also think back to things like PaleoQuest, which we originally did in 2013, and it's been 13 years since that's been out, and it is still fun. I will go there and I will play PaleoQuest just because it's a fun game to play. Um, but I also have to think, you know, SLB really is. It goes beyond that though. SLB goes beyond that because it really kind of that is a very good metaphor for everything that we do. Um, you know, we we bring up the regions, we build the infrastructure through them with all the roads and the carpets outside that you can go walk around, and we throw games in there and things and all this. But really, we aren't the star of the show. It's the exhibitions, it's the performers, it's all of you guys. We are just, and I've said this before, we build the frame, the nice pretty frame around the picture, so that you guys can paint the picture. And so I would say the thing that I probably like the most is probably SLB.
I have to give 3 cheers for SLB. SLB is great to work with for all the reasons that all of you have said. Just being able to be out there working with the residents, and it's a wonderful experience all the way around. And Bree, I'm not going to forget you. What project? Come on, tell us SLB. No
Well,
pressure.
okay, so part of it is SLB actually, and then there's something more. So let me start with something more, and then I'll come back to SLB. I have loved everything I've gotten to work on from a creator point of view, but there's something infinitely satisfying about when you put something out there and it is instantly gobbled up. And so, even though my personal contribution was rather small on the new commercial spaces that are out there, I was thrilled at how quickly they were gobbled up and how there continues to be a we want more, we want more, we want more. And so, to me, actions always speak louder than words. And so when I see what we're creating being used and being appreciated and people saying that they want more, that's what makes me most satisfied. If I had to think about a personal creation or two, the year that I came on board, I was tapped on the shoulder to create the Tapestry of Time capsule for that year. And since then, I've created 3 of those. And it's one of those things that I'm not sure everybody ever gets to fully see, but there's something about contributing to capturing the history of Second Life that makes me really proud. I've been here for, oh my goodness, in the early 2000s on my main account, and so I've been in SL for many years, as an educator, as an art exhibitor, and as a creator, an owner and operator of stores, and now as a Linden. And that evolution, I think, has given me an appreciation for all that goes on. And so to be able to create and contribute something as small as the Tapestry of Time holder for a given year, there's something to me that just feels very special about that. And I'm honored to have been allowed to create those.
Thank you. Izzy, did you want to chime in here?
I wasn't originally going to, and I absolutely love SLB, especially because it's so collaborative between residents and Lindens and our contractors and everything. So that's kind of my happy place. But I also want to mention things like Lights of Hope, Relay for Life, Bid the Lindens Ball, those things where we all get together to get donations for things and causes that we care about is so inspiring to me. And then the other thing I would mention is actually a project that never got released. I won't go into the details for it, but it was one of the earlier ones that we worked on when I started in this position, because we really rewrote the plan of how we do things. And I got to collaborate with everybody on the team in restructuring how we did things and how we got to get things done, and saw all the enthusiasm for something new. And it just, that's always stuck in my head and directed how I coordinate things moving forward.
Thank you. All right. We are getting right at the top of the hour. We still have questions, and there have been questions that have come in from the audience. So I want to hit the highlights here. Um, this is for Brett. We've seen more collaborations between Linden Lab and resident creators for premium gifts and special projects. What qualities do you look for in potential collaborators, and what have you learned from working so closely with creators across the community?
Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities here, so we continue to work on premium gifts with the studios team. There's been some external collaborations as well. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, so I don't want to be a broken record, but we really are trying to take in feedback and also look at the data and the numbers to assess what sort of changes to make in the future. So, you know, the paid membership tiers are going to continue to evolve. Um, and so you will see more changes there.
Okay. Z.
Sure. Actually, this is a question that I love. As far as what I've personally learned in working so closely with creators across the community, is that together we make Second Life even better. I've greatly enjoyed working with our creators. Sometimes I get amazing ideas from other creators. Sometimes that idea might be a concept, other times a way to accomplish something I hadn't thought of. And sometimes I even get to give my insight into ways that we can do things differently and lend that support and guidance to others in the community. The important part is knowing that this isn't a competition. Together, we build a stronger community, and that's always better for everyone in Second Life.
Thank you. All right. Now for possibly the most important question of the entire talk so far. Derek, this is for you. The cornfield remains one of Second Life's most legendary locations. Is there any chance residents might see it return in some form someday?
I mean, my initial response is, if you saw the cornfield, then maybe I don't. Uh, I don't know how to think of you, but no, no. Obviously, the cornfield holds a really special place in Second Life's history. I'm just going to be honest. We don't have any concrete plans around it right now. I want to be clear in that we haven't forgotten about it either. We absolutely recognize what it means to the community and the legacy that it carries. I think really the answer is, if it's the right opportunity, and it's something we would consider. But so we're not closing the door on it. We just want to make sure if we ever do revisit it, we do it in a way that honors what makes it special rather than just dusting it off for the sake of it.
Okay. Thank you very much. I agree with you. If people have seen the cornfield, maybe we need to question what exactly they were up to that caused them to see the cornfield, right? All right. One last question from the community, and then we'll have time for a few audience questions. Izzy, has the team ever considered a short-term vacation rental system that would allow residents to temporarily experience different Linden home themes without permanently giving up their existing home?
It's a really interesting idea, and I do like it. However, I'm going to need to put some significant thought into this because I don't want to compete with residents, and many of our residents have wonderful vacation options available. But I'll just say it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
More to come on that. All right, from our audience here today, first question, for those who want to get involved in SL24B, how would they go about that? Well, I can tell you how they would go about that. Applications come out in next year. They come out usually starting in March, and they are announced on the SL community blog, which Strawberry Linden operates and updates. And that is where all the information starts. So what you want to do is keep an eye on the SL blog, community blog, starting probably March 1st, 2027 for any information about SL24B. The other thing that I would suggest doing is making sure that you are a member of the Second Life Birthday group, because they also get information about what is going to be the plan for SL24B and when applications will be coming out. All right, another question for the moles. Interesting question. Why SL and what made you stay and be creative? Alada, why did you come to SL? How did you discover SL?
Well, actually, back in the days, I was in the hunt for a place that I could actually meet more people and be creative online, which was all the booming of 3D chats. That's what we used to call them back then. And found SL, and the fact that I liked it was because you could actually do whatever you wanted. You didn't depend on put a lot of money on it or wait for only the creators of the place to do something, because you could do your own stuff. You could make your own things. You could be creative in any which way you wanted. And that was really the hook for me to be like, I want to spend more time here. So yeah.
Excellent. Bree, it's Abner. Any of you want to weigh in on how you found SL and what made you want to stay and be creative? Abner and Bree have been here forever, and it's
Thanks. I
I'm
guess you're
pretty
saying we're old, huh?
yeah.
I'll
No,
I'll
you're
jump
just
in.
okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll jump in. I was actually attending an executive conference, and someone sitting at my table said, "Oh, you work for this IT consulting firm, so we need to speak with you because there's this thing called Second Life, and we need to get your firm's expertise in there." And so I actually came to Second Life professionally and brought my firm in, and we did some experimenting in Second Life. And in the course of all of that, I discovered that this was a very free, do what you want, create what you want sort of environment, and found it to be a great way for me to exercise my creativity. And so it was because of the freedom and the creative expression that I found here that sort of kept me coming back, even when we decided as a firm that we were going to not pursue things here. Personally, I decided it was a fun environment, and so I've been here for almost 20 years now, having a good time in Second Life.
All right. Thank you, Abner. It's how did you
I
guys discover?
Yeah, I can pitch in. I had a friend who actually said, you need to try it. I think you're gonna like it. That was at the end of 2006, and I waited a few months, and I got in and I never stopped. I straight away, even though I was a newbie, didn't realize that at that time, straight away went to the mentor program and started helping people at the hubs. And it was just, I raced in for the first time where there was a big party going on. So lots of music, and yeah, it was just really nice. I was like, I never gonna leave this again. And we're over 19 years further, and I'm still here, and now I'm working.
Wow. All right, Abner.
For me, I mean, it was like 2004, 2005, 2006, around that time, and uh, I would listen to a lot of podcasts. I even, tried, doing some podcasting myself, and it was on some podcast. I think it was like Leo Laporte or something like that, and he was talking about this virtual world and all of this, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll check that out. I'd played it, different games and things, online and massive multiplayer online games and so I tried it and I'm like, okay, you can walk around. Okay, this is kind of cool. Oh, you can meet people, you can do things. It was very, open-ended. And what got me was I was like, oh wait, I can make things here. I can actually like build things and change my environment that way by and once I once I did that, I was hooked. And it was like just yeah. I played a bunch of other different games that I just stopped playing all of those and never went back, really.
Well, it's great to be in a game that you can make the rules yourself, isn't it?
Exactly.
All right. A couple of questions for Derek. One is, since Zindra is getting some attention, could we get water sims or protected waterways added northeast of the continent so that we could at last sail all around it? Currently, private water parcels are blocking the path, and at least one water sim is missing at the extreme east.
This sounds eerily similar to other requests that we've had from other people. Hi, Sarah. I see you out there. Um, yeah, so you're clearly not alone in wanting this. Saleable water around Zendra is something we've heard from a lot of residents, and it's a completely reasonable ask given how much the sailing community means to Second Life. I don't have anything to announce today, but I can tell you that as we're thinking about what comes next for Zendra, uh, things like in water access is part of that conversation. We are aware of the gaps that were being described here, and we do want to be thoughtful about it, and what we can do with that space as opportunities arise. So I guess I can say heard, noted, and genuinely on my radar.
All right, thank you. Now, I have another question for you, Derek, and this question has been repeatedly asked all week, so I'm really glad that he's finally going to have someone answer it. Is there is there someone who looks into the needs of small nonprofit educational projects in Second Life?
Yeah, so we have a nonprofit and educational program in Second Life that does offer discounts for the needs for those individuals, and we have a number of contacts that uh, also are, basically builders for those types of institutions or organizations. Um, so yes, that is something that we could potentially help with. It does have some requirements. If you send over if you send over your information to us through a support ticket to the land operations team, we can start talking to you about what options we have and what we're able to help with.
All right, thank you. Um, we are going to have quite a few questions. I'm sorry we don't have time to answer them all. I'm going to pick out a couple more that maybe we can answer quickly, and then we're going to call it a day. But thank you so much for everybody being here and having so many questions. You'll have to come back again next year. Let's see. For Izzy, are there any plans to revamp the older Linden home area textures to be as up to date as the newer Linden home textures, such as PBR?
Definitely. While PBR we have to be very careful with because, of course, it affects so many different things that it might just be a complete rebuild if we did that. Not that that's out of the realm of possibility, but I can actually let you guys know that we're currently making some additional builds for some of the existing homes that aren't just more of the same. They're kind of thematically compatible, but additional options for people in certain of the older themes that I think are going to be pretty exciting.
All right, thank you. Are there any new themes on the horizon for Linden Homes while we're talking about Linden Homes?
While we're not currently working on any completely new themes, we're always thinking about what those new themes would be. Right now, like I said, we're focusing on some additions. So like what we did for Log, where we made a few additional homes, except for this time, they're compatible with those themes that we're adding to, but not exactly more of the same. So it's not like more log homes. If it was 4 log homes, which it isn't, maybe it would be campgrounds or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what would go with log homes, but that kind of idea.
All right. Well, I think that we really are at time. I want to thank everybody for coming
Seriously, that's it.
and for being so involved with the questions. Also, I want to encourage everybody to keep playing the golden ticket giveaway. Keep searching for those kiosks. That's going to run through July 14th. You'll be able
What an
to
utter
win,
waste of time this was.
opportunities to win that 1 million Linden grand prize. Also, there are still 2.5 full days of performances going on at the stages, and the birthday regions will be up and open and explorable through July 19th. So definitely come back and make sure you see all of the wonderful exhibits that have been made for this year's birthday. Yeah, I'm going to say goodbye now, shut things off, but thank you so much for being here and happy SL23B.
Thank you, everybody.
Anyone else get the feeling? Anyone else get the feeling that Missy was playing for time all the way through this? Anyone else get the feeling? Let's get out of here because it's going to get laggy and I want to listen to a TARDIS. Hold on. Get rid of the fly cam. Stand up. And let's get out of here. Back to some sanity over at New Babbage. That's not New Babbage. Hold on. Camera's locked. There we go. Welcome to one of my homes, by the way. Just one of my homes. Oh, you won't hear the sound because I muted it. There we go. Ah, listen to that. But you know what? Let's head to my other home and I'll do the commentary part, which is what you're all waiting for. It's what you're all waiting for. Now, don't get me wrong here. I have got a lot of time for the moles. A lot of time for the moles. They do. Oh Brilliant, I'm up in the sky. Okay, I'm going to fall down to the lighthouse then. They do a job that essentially makes sure that what I would like to call Linden Labs council estates, because that's basically what they are, that make sure Linden Labs council estates are essentially up to date. And the job of the moles is to make sure that all the infrastructure, all of the housing for Linden Homes looks and works well. And they do a fantastic job at doing it, and that was a rough landing. Oh, by the way, this is my main house. I'm in New Babbage for the people wondering, and this is my lighthouse. And yes, I built this. Little bit on the little bit on the LI heavy side because it comes out 132 land impact, but this was built a long time ago. It's the old Vernian Sea lighthouse, and the lantern glass is not resin. Why is the lantern glass not resin? Hold on. Well, that's annoying. Ah, there we go. Vernian Sea Lighthouse on the outskirts of New Babbage. This is my home if I'm not in the TARDIS. So let's just park ourselves in here. So I know that a number of people, a lot, not just a number, a lot of people submitted questions, not for the community questions via Star, but the actual community questions via the Google form. A lot of people submitted questions that was basically down the exact same line. And it was very similar to the question that I submitted to StarMole as well. Mainland was built and put together at a time when Linden Lab and Second Life's concurrency rates was up at 90,000 to 100,000 residents, continuously logged in every day of the week, 365 days a year. The Linden Home Scheme was originally put in place. We're talking about Bellisaria now. The Linden Home Scheme was originally put in place when concurrency rates were double what they are now. So we're talking 50, 60,000 people logged into Second Life every single day, 365 days of the year. You look at the concurrency rates now, they're half of what they were 5 years ago when Belly first started. You're looking at 20 to 30,000. Vast tracts of mainland are dead. Utterly dead. There's nothing there. No one's buying it. No one wants it because 9 times out of 10, that bit of mainland has been landscaped in such a way that the back of the mainland parcel is 50 metres higher than the front of the mainland parcel. You can't landscape that. Now, back in the old days when there was 100,000 people running around in Second Life, somebody would have bought that and done something with it, but they can't now. You look at Bellisaria and Sarah, I know Sarah Kaskainen has been saying this a lot, 16,000 empty Linden homes. Let that number sink in, people. 16,000. Now, I don't know where she got the number from, but there is a lot of people agreeing with her, and I'm one of them. The first Linden home I got was one of the houseboat homes, the original houseboat homes. And when I first moved there was I had loads of neighbours. Loads of neighbours. When I left that Linden houseboat 3 weeks ago, I was the only one left on that region. All the other houseboats were empty because they had all left. Why did they leave? Because of the trick that Linden Lab are consistently pulling. They bring out a brand new theme with a brand new Linden home, and all the older homes are emptied out, and the people rush to get a new Linden home. I was one of them. I got one of those new Copperfield homes, or whatever they're called, because, YOLO, you only live once. And the fear of missing out thing as well. There is vast tracts of Bellisaria that are dead and empty. And it's not as if people are going to move into them, because they're not. They're moving into the newer stuff. So as everyone ups and leaves the older sections of Bellisaria and move into the newer sections of Bellisaria, the old sections of Bellisaria are left empty, dead, unused. So get all those regions, plus all the regions that are dead and unused in mainland, and you have got a lot of wasted server space. Now, Linden Lab is using Amazon Web Services to host these regions now, because Linden Labs stopped using their own servers the better part of 7 or 8 years ago. They don't have their own servers now. It's Amazon that's hosting everything. If Linden Lab was to get rid of, let's say, 50% of the dead mainland, literally the dead mainland, where nothing happens, where no one's buying, where no one's renting, where no one's had a parcel on that bit of mainland for the better part of half a decade, if they were to get rid of all those chunks of mainland, shrink the mainland continent down, and then get rid of about a quarter of Bellis area, think of the money they'd be saving. Think about it. Think of the money they'd be saving. But they keep all these old land areas around, and no matter what the moles have said, but they keep saying that mainland is an integral part of Linden Lab. It's not. Because if mainland was an integral part of Linden Lab, they would have done something to save the collapse of mainland more than half a decade ago. They would have done something to save it. But the fact is, they haven't updated the ground textures. The fact is, most of the infrastructure is in woeful need of upgrades. Instead, what they've done is they've taken the emphasis away from old mainland and threw it all to Bellis area. Now, at the beginning, Bellis area worked, and to a certain extent, Bellis area is working right now. It's a phenomenal idea. The new areas of Bellis area that's got the copper homes, phenomenal landscaping. Phenomenal landscaping. And the work done on the new homes, phenomenal work. But you can't ignore what's happened to the older sections of Belly. The sections of Bellis area that the Bellis area citizens group don't want to talk about. The original Bellis area regions, where no one goes, where no one rents, where nothing's updated, where it literally looks like a time capsule locked from about 6 or 7 years ago. They need to shrink land down. They need to. If they get rid of all the regions, the old regions of Bellis area, and get rid of vast swathes of mainland that no one's going to rent, think of the money they'd save. They'd save a lot of money. Because unlike games like Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, these regions aren't sharded, which means they only come online when someone teleports into them. These regions are up 24/7. They're taking server space somewhere on the Amazon Web Servers racks. If they get rid of all the unused regions, they're going to save a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of money. But the questions that were being asked at that Meet the Lindens, they were all softball questions, and I had a feeling they were playing for time. They were trying to stretch the thing out so it lasted up to the hour mark, so any of the tough questions that were sent in from the audience watching the stream, or not watching the stream, but watching the stage, wouldn't have a chance to get asked. They were playing for time. They were playing for time. Kind of the same trick that happened yesterday during the Meet the Lindens for the not the engineering team, the Meet the Lindens for the marketing team. They were playing for time. That way, they wouldn't get any hard ball questions being asked at the end of the proceedings. And this is a worrying trend that Linden Lab have started to do, because, to be honest, they started doing it back in SL23B as well. Some serious questions have to be asked. They have to be asked, but the problem is they're not being asked, which means no one's answering them. It means no one's answering them. But it is true, though, what Sarah Kaskainen's been saying. Vast tracts of Linden homes are laying barren and empty, and they're never going to be used. Never. Because as Linden Lab brings in a new theme with a new set of regions, the older stuff is basically abandoned. And what they're doing to Bellis area right now is the same thing that happened to mainland. They added new vast tracts of new mainland with coastline, and the old core regions of mainland, they became abandoned and nobody moved back in. The same thing is happening to Bellis area right now. And if this trend keeps happening, with Linden Lab coming out with new themes, tacking on new regions to the outer edges of Bellisarea, or even adding whole fresh new islands to Bellisarea, the core of old Bellisarea, it's going to turn into mainland. Dead. Utterly dead. With nobody there. Nobody there. And here's the thing. That business model works in the short term wonderfully, but it doesn't work long term, because it will get to the stage that Linden Lab ends up opening a new set of themes, a new set of homes, and the people who have been playing leapfrog and jumping from one theme to another, one house to another, for the fear of missing out, they're going to sit back and say, you know what? I've jumped to new themes the past 5 times. I like my copper house. I'm staying here and I'm not moving to the new regions. And if that happens, if the majority of Bellisarians actually decide to do that, stick with their copper home and not move into the next new theme, that's it. The business model is screwed. It's screwed. Because Linden Lab will no longer be able to cream in more money from the premium subscribers, because the current premium subscribers are all over the Linden Lab forum saying, no, don't move people, stick with your Copperfield. And I've got a feeling that that business model is going to collapse within the next 1.5 years, 2 years, because it's already starting to happen now. It's already starting to happen. Serious questions needed to be asked as to the direction of Bellisarea and the old mainland continent, and they weren't asked. It was all softball questions all the way through. The same thing that happened during some of the engineering team meetings, and the same thing that happened during the marketing team meeting. And I find it very funny, by the way, that Brett never mentioned once, all the way through that marketing Meet the Lindens episode yesterday, not once did he mention, oh, we're talking to podcasters. He didn't mention it once, but he mentioned it today, while I was harping on about talking to podcasters on the stream last night. If they do end up getting like the big non-political podcasters, if they do end up running adverts in some of those podcaster streams, it'll work. It will work, because that's the kind of person that you want to bring into Second Life. The kind of person who, A, is into the whole virtual world thing, but more importantly, B, spends money. Because that's the bottom line for Linden Lab. They want to bring in people who will spend money. Gamers are some of the highest spenders per capita in modern day capitalism. Full stop. So if they manage to get some of the big gaming podcasters or gamer podcasters on side to actually run Linden Lab and more especially Second Life adverts, that will actually work. It will actually work. As long as they pick the right podcaster. But there we go, folks. That's it. That is it for Meet the Lindens. I am seriously considering starting to go to what used to be called the town hall meetings and is now called the group meetings for various sections of Linden Lab, because I've been ignoring them for the most, but I'm seriously considering starting to go to some of these meetings now to see what's actually talked about during these old town hall meetings to do with mainland or Bellisarea or stuff like that, because none of the serious questions were being asked today. None of them were being asked. The questions that needed to be asked. It was all softball after softball after softball, which is a bit of a shame, really. And you could see the frustration happening in local chat. There was a lot of people frustrated about the lack of actual hard-hitting questions. Yeah. Oh, you're right. I need to go, Spice. I need to go. I know there's a Google Calendar or a Google Sheet somewhere that's got all the meetings. I need to find where I put that Google Calendar now, but there's a Google Calendar. What are the town hall meetings? It's when different sections of Linden Lab basically sit down and chat in World, and anyone can pop in and visit. Anyone. There's a Google Calendar somewhere that's got all the different town hall meetings all laid out. I need to find that calendar now and find out what the ones are that I need to go to find out what they're actually discussing. I know that Sarah Kaskainen, who was very vocal in chat, I know that she goes to a lot of them. I used to go to a lot of them, and then I got bored. Because the thing about me is I've got the attention span of a goldfish sometimes, and if these town hall meetings become boring and mundane, I just leave. Anyway, that basically wraps up this channel's coverage of SL23B's Meet the Lindens. I managed to actually get all 5 episodes this time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe now, because there is also non-live uploads done on this. What I usually tend to do in this channel is I usually tend to visit brand new destination guide areas and do a walking tour of these new destination guide areas, along with helpful hints and tips to do with Second Life in general. I've been a bit lacking or slacking lately with the uploaded videos, but I'm going to start getting back into it now that SL23B, the live stuff at least, is beginning to wind down. So I'm going to start getting back in to the pre-recorded videos on this channel. Big thanks to everyone who's been watching all of these live broadcasts. I don't quite know when the next live broadcast is going to be. Probably during one of the big charity events that because there's a load of charity events that are coming up. August, September, October, running into the SL Christmas Expo. So that's probably going to be the next live stream. Normally, what I do in this channel is pre-recorded videos, destination guide tours, that kind of thing. Because doing a live show takes a lot of time and preparation. A lot of time and preparation. And I can't do anything else because the same computer is running the viewer and streaming at the same time. Thank God it's a decent computer. Otherwise, it would struggle way too much. Anyway. That is it from me, folks. As always, thank you all for watching the past 5 episodes, and keep sticking around. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button down below. Have a good one all.